I am the business guy with Asset Protection Planners, and many people who are deep in debt have one thing in common: excuses. When I was a kid, I heard a quote: you can either make money or you can make excuses, but you can't do both. And it's the same thing with getting out of debt. Sometimes more than circumstances, it's the excuses that serve as these self-imposed shackles on your own hands that are responsible for an individual's financial condition. So today we're going to break the chains and radically alter our mindsets and head in a new direction starting right now. You with me? And if you're watching this on YouTube, can you please click the like button below so YouTube promotes this video? Thank you so much. You can also text a link of this video to others, share it on social media, and you can also click the subscribe button so that when more videos come out like this, you'll get notified. So once you do what we're talking about here, you'll find out getting out of debt is really quite simple. So today, we're going to cover the 7 most common excuses that people make for staying in debt and what you can do to get out from underneath the financial pressure. But first of all, let me go on a rant. Will you let me do that? I mean, I've really got to get this off my chest. And it goes like this: but if I don't borrow money, how can I build up my credit score? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Do you know who made up the term credit score? The credit industry! The credit industry to keep you in debt. So the only debt you should have, if you have any at all, is a mortgage, which you pay off quickly. And I know of 14 mortgage lenders who can give you a mortgage loan right now without a credit score if you can prove you can pay it back. So by saying you need credit to get credit is like one pig talking to another at the slaughterhouse, saying, how are we going to get slaughtered if we don't walk down the ramp? It's like pigs with their hooves together begging outside the slaughterhouse door, hoping they get accepted to the slaughter. And that's exactly what you look like, sitting there hoping you get your loan approved, because they're going to slaughter you financially once you do. So don't get sucked into the credit score nonsense like 95% of the population in the civilized world. You be different. Stop taking advice from poor people. If you can afford the monthly payment on the car, you can afford to save that much in the bank every month until you can pay cash. So you say, but my interest rate is only 1.9%. Well, whoop-de-doo for you. Aren't you smart? Well, you overpaid for the car, and you could have gotten a better deal walking in that place with a wad of cash. Hey, the money has to come from somewhere, and these car dealers aren't dumb. So there's your interest rate. So again, stop taking your dang advice from broke people. And most people out there are broke people. Okay, now that I got that off my chest, here are the 7 excuses that keep people in debt. Number 1, my income isn't high enough. Well, even if you're not making a lot of money, you can always try to cut down your unnecessary expenses. So here's the secret: don't start the month until you have it finished. That is, you tell every dollar where it's going to go before the month starts. You do this by creating a budget. Creating a budget and tracking all of your expenditures will help you identify where all of your money goes every month, and that way you can take steps to curb needless spending. This will provide you with some extra money you can use to pay down your debt. And then on the other side, if you're in commission to sales or run a business, learn new sales skills to increase your income. Number 2, I don't know where to start. If your debt load is huge, it can become quite overwhelming to know where to begin. You may feel swamped by despair and feel like you'll never manage to pay it all off. In these situations, a good approach is to first use a debt payoff calculator to figure out how long it will take to pay off your loans based on the payments you make. To your surprise, you may find out that it will take much less time than you thought. You should also put some effort in to research the ways you can get rid of the burden. I recommend enrolling in Dave Ramsey's Smart Dollar program. I got the course for all of the employees here, and they absolutely loved it. An absolute life changer. Number 3, I can only pay the minimum payment each month. Now, if you're hard-pressed for cash, it's easy to convince yourself that you just need to make the minimum payment due on your credit card each month. However, this practice will only increase your problems as the interest will eat you alive. So instead, you should pay off as much as possible. And of course, don't be a dork and add to the balance. You need a credit cardectomy and cut the credit card in 2 and never use it again. From now on, only use debit cards. And oh, I can hear it now. It's for emergencies. Oh yeah, well let me tell you about emergencies. You just created an emergency by charging up your credit card in the first place. So ditch the emergency excuse and ditch the credit cards. You'll be thanking me. And by the way, if you're living in your mama's basement, nobody wants to hear your financial advice. You shouldn't even be listening to your own advice. Take it from somebody who's run a business for 30 years. Debt is dumb. Cash is king. Number 4, I'm waiting for things to improve. Well, what if you never get your dream job and you don't get a raise in another few years? By that time, thanks to interest, your debt could have reached to the moon. A better approach is to start paying back your debt now so that you can make at least some dent in your interest. Number 5, well, I have other priorities right now. Well, we agreed that it is essential to save up to buy a house and put money away for vacation. However, you need to find middle ground. It doesn't make sense to save money at low interest while you're incurring high interest. It doesn't even make sense to buy a house if you have any debt at all. So paying off your debt is your new priority. Number 6, well, it's not inconveniencing me in any way. Sometimes the effects of debt are not obvious. Try simply calculating the amount of money you pay in interest each month, then multiply that by 12, and then by 10 or 20. You're flushing money down the toilet. So by taking action to pay off your debt now, you do yourself a favor instead of your creditors. And number 7, oh, hey, I love this one. But everybody has debt. A car payment is a way of life. Well, that's true for lots of people, but it doesn't have to be true for you. I mean, do you just want to be normal, or do you want financial security? You don't want to jump off the cliff into the rocks below just because everybody else is doing it. And by dedicating a little time towards this problem, you can get rid of the problem forever. Just make a list of the amounts you owe and figure out a budget that will help you pay off your debts. Start with the smallest to largest. Then you get busy. So the question is, what are you going to do with your life once you don't have any payments? And the answer is any stinking thing you want. Please click like, subscribe, and share this video with others. I sure appreciate it. This is The Business Guy. When I was a kid, I heard a quote, you can either make money, let's have a little introduction. I'm the business guy with asset protection. Gotta have energy and sincerity. Gotta have energy and sincerity. Loosen up the jaw. But if I don't borrow money, how can I build up my credit score? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Do you know who made up the term credit score? You be different. Stop taking advice from poor people. Okay, now that I got that off my chest, you should also put some effort in, and oh, I can hear it now. It's for emergencies. And number 7, oh yeah. And number 7, oh hey. And number 7, oh hey, I love this one. But everybody has debt.